Hi everyone, how's everyone going? And I hope everyone's staying safe and staying busy. So I'm just going to make this a quick video because I'm doing a series of videos all talking about the same book, which is called Psycho-Cybernetics. This is a well-known popular book written by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. That's Maxwell and then M-A-L-T-Z. If you go onto YouTube and you type in Psycho-Cybernetics or you type in Maxwell Maltz, loads of information will come up because this book is recommended as a top self-development, personal development book. I'm going to talk about two sections from the book in this video because I've made quite a few videos on it, and it is literally a 10-hour audiobook. So you can imagine if you were taking notes or if you wanted me to make a video based on everything, it could take me probably a few days. The two areas I'm going to discuss in this video is the impact on self-image of people before and after surgery, and how surgery can change someone physically, but if they still have the same mindset and beliefs about themselves, it has no difference on how they feel, how their self-image feels. And the second bit I'm going to talk about is inferiority complex versus feeling more positive about yourself. So inferior versus superior and somewhere in between. So in the book, Dr. Maxwell Maltz basically talks about how he has performed millions of surgeries on people over the years, and he broke it into three categories. There were people who would come to him for surgery who had nothing wrong with them. He saw them as being perfect the way they were, and he said no ethical surgeon would do any surgery on them because it would be unethical because they looked fine. However, how they viewed themselves was that they were ugly, was that the reason they didn't get relationships, the reason they couldn't get jobs, the reasons that everything in their life went wrong was because of how they looked. Despite them being told the otherwise, despite most people saying they were fine, they didn't believe it. So he said 80% of students in a particular area in America, there was a study carried out, and most of them felt that they were ugly or unattractive, or there was something wrong with them physically. They didn't have any disabilities or any scarring, and he said their concept of themselves was similar to how someone would feel who has a scar on their face or someone who has a disability. They were using the same types of words of how they feel. What he concluded was that if your image and beliefs about yourselves are based on how other people look, based on the past, based on what you've been told, or based on just how you feel about yourself, then nothing anyone else can say or do will convince you otherwise. And he said the key to success in life is to own your beliefs, recognize and identify the ones that are holding you back, and change your self-concept and your self-image, and that's how you perceive yourself. Even if you don't believe it, work on it so that you get to a point where you do believe it. So the second thing that he talked about was inferiority complex and how that manifests itself, and how that can then lead to people feeling that they're failures, feeling that they can't do something, all because of how they feel. So an inferiority complex is where you believe someone is better than you, and you hold that belief so true that you actually feel you're inferior to other people. Now what he said is this can be caused through the media, this can be caused through what you've been told. If you're in a family and all of your siblings are told how wonderful they are, how pretty they are, how intelligent they are, but you're never told that, you could hold on to the belief that you're the black sheep of the family, you're the one that isn't attractive, you're the one that isn't intelligent. He said it's also based on people with inferiority complexes seek to become superior, and then they're in this dangerous cycle because you can't be perfect. So someone feels they're inferior, so then they behave in a superior way towards other people, and then they realise that that hasn't worked because they still feel inferior, and then they just in this cycle where they can never win. So they can't feel superior because it's in their mind, it's not anything that they're doing, it's not a true fact. So if you're behaving in a certain way to aim or to get some sort of results, but you're initially starting with the wrong results anyway, there's no way of you winning. So what he said was that what you have to do is to recognise that you're not inferior, nobody is, but it's what your thoughts and your mindset is saying. So if you change your mindset and your thoughts, you'll change your self-image. So one example he gave is, he said to one of his patients, would you ever get down on on your all fours and beg your manager for a cup of coffee like a dog? And the person said no. And he says, well, why do you do that every day? By proving to other people, having to prove yourself to other people. In your minds, that's what you're doing. You're begging people to see you as superior. You're begging people to approve of you as a person. You're begging people to see you in a different light, but you're not seeing yourself in that light. I can give lots of examples as a counsellor, and also in my own personal life. If I was to take on board some of the media messages, or some of the messages from other people, that, you know, you're not good enough, or you're too dark, or you're a woman, or you've got a certain accent, or you don't dress a certain way, or you're not sexy enough, you're not this enough, you're not that enough, you could become inferior based on what other people's beliefs rather than your own. However, if you have a strong self-image, which is part of the work I do as a confidence counsellor, as a coach, is to build people up so they recognise everyone has got something good about them. You know, you don't need to listen and to take on and absorb messages that are telling you otherwise. If you think you're the greatest in the world, look at Muhammad Ali, he's a classic example. He didn't listen to anyone. When he went into that ring, he said, I'm the greatest. That was his tagline. That's what people remember him for. He didn't lose many of his boxing matches, but if he went into that ring saying, I can't go up against this opponent because they're bigger than me, I can't go up against this opponent because the crowd are on their side, you know, I'm living in this society where there's a lot of racism against me, none of the crowd is going to want a black champion as a boxer. Imagine the different results he would have get, but also imagine how he would have felt mentally going into those boxing matches. So the key to all of this is that your self-concept and your self-image is down to you. It's not down to anyone else. If you feel inferior, it's because you're believing that you are. It's not because someone is making you feel inferior, because someone can't do that. So I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to like, to comment, and share this video if you feel that it will benefit someone else. And also thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you to anyone that will subscribe to this channel. Look out for more videos coming soon. Take care everyone. Bye.